Namato Ratanatayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Zem, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello everyone, good evening. Today is Sunday the 24th of May 2020. This is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. So once again, I am here with you on this night. Hi everyone, hi Colleen, Manish, Margaret, Shannon, Karina, and hi Colleen, hi. So hi everyone. So today is another beautiful Sunday, and in so-called 4 days, the Scottish government is going to ease our lockdown, and believe that we are looking forward to it. Nevertheless, although it's the lockdown eased by the government, I again would like to inform or maybe encourage you to be vigilant and be careful, since there is no antivirus or so-called hasn't developed yet. And I was following news in Nepal, a recent 1 month, and they were able to control the virus spreading, and now within 2 weeks time, that increased up to over 600 people. And now the lockdown in Nepal is getting more tougher. And in the past, when there was just the beginning of a lockdown, the middle class people were able to help those who are lower class, in a way that those who were living renting in the cities and haven't got much income, so the middle class and as well as government were feeding them. But now, because of over 2 months of a lockdown in Nepal, even the middle class or businessmen began to worry that how long it is going to last and how would they be surviving, and as a result, in a way, becoming a more selfish and more of a self-centered began in Nepal. And I worry that it may lead some form of a violence or some form of severe severe shortage of the food. Things may occur in Nepal, which is sad to know. We are still very lucky enough in the UK, in Scotland as well, that despite of the lockdown, we are still having good services all around, and we still have a furlough for the working people and stopping. So like that. So it's quite worrying, but yet again another freedom that we are going to have. So I hope that after the lockdown eased, you will not be mindlessly going around, and at least you use the masks if you have to go out and about and communicating with other people. So this is just information that I want to share with you tonight. Secondly, I also would like to extend my appreciation to the daughters of Suni Johnsons, and who also is suffering from coronavirus almost a month now, but generously offered £500 towards the renovation of the barn, and Nida also offered £15 for the renovation of the barn. And thank you very much for the generous donation towards it. I really appreciate. And the barn renovation of the barn is still going on, and we do not know how long will it take, but we are still struggling to find the delivery because we cannot order online, or we cannot click and collect. So hopefully in this week we can organize something to have those materials, and we can straight away start working on the barn. Although we haven't got the much materials, but Ajahn Pira is working hard preparing for the arrival of the materials, and we can straight away work on that. So that's the thing. And then we were having a couple of ladies like Rudy, Jim and Bruce were here planting the rose flowers and other plants. Bruce also brought more trees to plant in our garden, in the woodlands, and also pigs. Thank you very much as well for your all valuable time at the center, and cutting the grass and planting the rose flowers and weeding around the center. So thank you everyone. I was early on, before this, I was on a so-called Interfaith Mindful Day event, which is supposed to be taking place at the center last week, and due to the coronavirus we had to cancel. And yet although we cannot come together, we organized it on Zoom account and Zoom meeting, and which last week didn't work somehow. But today it worked, and around 15-16 people joined from Scotland for this meeting. Thank you for listening from Thailand. Okay, 12:30. Thank you, Ta, for listening. And I had a privilege to be a co-host along with the Interfaith Aberdeen group, organizing today's this Zoom meeting on sleep and rest from the different faith groups. So it was quite interesting to ponder on the different faith groups speaking on the same topic, sleep and rest. And in Buddhism, again, when we look at the sleep, it's pretty much a hindrance in Buddhism, because when we meditate, we have so many ways not to go to sleep, and despite of that, again, sometimes we do go to sleep. Like I've been very tired of this working, and I realized that I've been sleeping during the meditation too. And this is again in Buddhism. We have ways not to go to sleep, and because of that, we do not have much to say on sleep. However, sleep is what a Buddha called it as the so-called there is no reaction from bodily movement and external stimulus. So as a result of that, there is a loss of consciousness. When we loss of consciousness, then we go to the sleep. And average people, according to the Buddhism, says that we sleep third of our life. That's a lot. Third of our life is a lot. And also said that in order to have a sufficient sleeping is the great rest, complete rest that helps to keep our body and mind healthy. So that's why the sleeping is also part of the enlightenment process too. Okay, and then also said that the one who enlightened, he sleeps well without troubles, and that's why the guidance is that the guidance is simply to calm yourself before you go to bed, and do not take things with you before you go to bed. And I normally relate to this is that there is a beautiful story in Thailand in relation to the New Year. It says that when you when you come out, always remember to wash your feet. And that's simply washing your feet means you're leaving all behind, not taking anything into you, and that will help you to go to sleep. And that's a very beautiful way of putting that. If we want to go to sleep, then leave everything behind, but just you there, and your body, and simply calm and at peace. So that is what Buddha meant about going to sleep. And sleep is basically rest, complete rest. And you can sleep when you have no thoughts. But when you have a thought, I want to go to sleep, then you cannot go to sleep, because your mind is active. When your mind is active, then you cannot go to sleep. So my advice is simply, practice of meditation. I think I have repeated so many times about this question, how can we have a good sleep? I have repeated the answer that when you go to sleep, practice meditation, and then immediately you will go to sleep. And that's because your mind becomes focused, one-pointed, and your mind is not engaged in any activity. Your mind is not active, so your mind is simply relaxed and in peace. When your mind is relaxed and at peace, at that moment you will be able to go to sleep. But you shouldn't be thinking of going to sleep. So that was the topic, and then I led the guided meditation on how to go to sleep, and gave a short introduction on that sleeping. But what is important is that we have a practice of a loving kindness meditation, in which if we can practice properly, and I think I have told you like 2 days ago about the practice of a meditation is to generate this loving kindness, pursuing to have this loving kindness and developing this loving kindness and attend with the loving kindness. And once we practice this loving kindness, and the loving kindness has been cultivated and developed, it's become a vehicle for us, and it is a foundation of our living standard, then we can sleep very easily, okay? And we can wake up very easily too. It will be fresh, it will be so nice. And the further on, that we won't have any bad dreams, and that's, I think, lots of people would like to have it, no bad dreams. And in relation to the bad dreams, again, Buddha said that bad dreams sometimes is because we engage in our we've been engaged in a day-to-day basis of mostly in immoral activities, and when we go to sleep, we take that activities into our thought process, and as a result of that, we continue thinking, and yet our body shuts down, and as a result we will have bad dreams. And the second is that because of we have eaten a heavy food, and our body cannot digest properly, and as a result we also may have bad dreams too, and which is one of the causes that we cannot have a good sleep. So Buddha's advice is that possible avoid any unwholesome or so-called immoral activities or any cruel activities of committing in a day, and not having any hard food before you go to bed, but rather reflecting and forgetting anything that you have done, or somebody has done to you, or something went wrong, so you are forgiving and practicing a loving kindness. So sending a love and kindness and wishing them to be happy, wishing yourself to be happy and others to be happy. And that also helps to free your mind, and easy to go to sleep, and there won't be any bad dreams. But nevertheless, there are 5 categories that people, 5 categories of people, they cannot sleep. The one, a lady who is longing for a man. Suppose a young lady fall in love with a man and longing to see, then that night will be a longest night for her. Or someone who is waiting for someone tomorrow, and then that night will be the longest night. That's same with the man who is longing for the woman as well. And the thieves obviously will sleep less, and also the king or the government officials are also sleeping less. And the last one, which is again the practitioner, meditation practitioner, also sleep very less. We are told that if you sleep on meditation, you don't have to sleep more. It's like you have energized yourself as you are meditating. And we have examples as well. And I have experienced one time that I was on a retreat, a 10 days silent retreat, and one of the nights after I have heard the teachings, and encouraging teachings about sleeping without sleeping, but sleeping on a meditation, as you lie down and contemplating on the primary object, the rising, falling, as you put your hand on, and then you're just aware of that movement constantly. Then it seems like only couple of movements of your belly that you are aware of, but the time passes so quick. The 6 hours sleep was just already gone. By the time when I woke up, it was like 4 o'clock already, which was the time to get ready for another meditation in the morning. And I was worried about it, but what happened was that I was worried that I will be sleepy on that day, but it didn't. Okay, Jalanpon. Okay, you can go to sleep. Thank you. Thank you for listening, Ta. Thank you. Yeah, and I was worried about that, but what happened was I was fresh, so fresh and able to be mindful, and my awareness was so sharp throughout the day. I didn't feel weakness, I didn't feel tired, I was so awake. And what happened was that following day, when I went to sleep, my mind was constantly thinking and constantly wondering that if I'm not going to sleep another night, this will be another big trouble for me. Despite I have known the energy, and yet I have that fear of not able to continue meditation following days. And with that, I was not able to contemplate. I was not able to meditate on that night because I was thinking and worrying about the tomorrow, future. So tomorrow, and as a result, I was not able to go to sleep or meditate. That was not a good night. And what I did was just to pick and write in a piece of paper. And when I try to write what I'm going to do, and it becomes very shortened, it's very difficult to describe. You cannot write. You can write only a few words and then just gone. And that's how your mind became empty, and I was able to go to sleep. Okay, so that's the way. And the practice of a loving kindness meditation is another one that one can practice in order to be able to go to sleep properly. And from my understanding and from my practice, what I have come across was that we can use 3 ways to go to good sleep. One is the physical exercise, and that simply means if you are working hard and working physically a lot, and then by the time when the time comes, it takes you to sleep quite easily. But if it's a really tiring work, then again sometimes it's difficult to go to sleep. Okay? It needs to be balanced and moderate. Only then we can go to sleep properly. Okay. And the second is the practice of a meditation, and the practice of a meditation is simply, leaving everything behind, and you just sit down, just lie down, aware of your sensations in your body, feel the sensation in your body, and then sometimes you may put your hands on the belly and aware, and sometimes you can scan as I have instructed previously on the 7 parts body scan. If you haven't heard and if you haven't practiced it, you can go to YouTube, our center's YouTube, and there is I have uploaded that 7 parts body scan, so you can practice that as well. And with that, and still mind is still restless. In that case, just simply aware of the breath, or aware of the touch from the body touching the bed, or the duvet touching you, just in that present moment awareness. And slowly, because you are trying to be in the present moment awareness, gradually mind slows down of thinking. Active mind become less and less active, and slowly it takes you to sleepiness. Right? So that's the second, and which is, I think, is the most effective one, I would say, and I have been using it a lot. I also use another one, which quite often when I feel very like a lot of things and my mind become really restless, then I just turn on the Dhamma talk, the talk on a meditation, and I listen. I try to follow that instruction, and then try to practice along with that instruction, and slowly. And sometimes I don't know when I went to sleep. Other time I do know when I went to sleep. But if you are on a retreat and a serious practitioner, what is a beauty that you will be able to see that which mind you went to sleep, whether it was the rising moment or whether it was a falling moment of your abdomen. And when you wake up again, you are more aware that you woke up with the rising moment or the falling moment. So that's again another level of awareness that you can develop as you develop in your practice. So the sleeping is, again, nowadays is a very big topic, and it's been a big issue. And this is simply, I think, because of we became a workaholic, and we have to fulfill this modernity, and since lockdown we are all engaged in the mobile phones, smartphones, and with this what happens is that we become so engaged with this mobile phone, and we become addicted to the movies or the clips or the sounds or the songs, and that again there is a scientific research said that the smartphones can diminish so-called, I forgot the name for that particular hormone that decreases, that controls the sleepiness, and as a result we cannot sleep. So best way is to leave your smartphones away before you go to bed. And from my study, what I understood is that you should leave your mobile or smartphones at least of a half an hour before you go to bed. Then that helps to go to sleep. So-called blue lights can affect our brains. So the best advice would be, away from mobile or smartphones at least of a half an hour, and then just go to all the procedures, like just relax the body, relax the mind, aware of the body, or if it's still very hard, just write it down. And these are some of the tips then I think we can apply in our day-to-day life for having a good sleep. So, and again, a good sleep is very important. I remember of there is a story, the king, and during the time of the Buddha, the king, he was on duty, and he come across with a very beautiful lady who was in the market selling something, and he became fond of this lady and tried to find out. And after he realized that she was already married, she tried to force her husband to do something, and so he will be able to kill his husband indirectly, and he will have this lady for him. So he tried different ways, and yet he was not able to kill her husband. And because of that lustful connection that he had with her, and he couldn't sleep for many days. And at the end, when he went to see the Buddha, and the Buddha said, you have to give up this thought, and on negative thoughts, so-called the lustful thought, and then you will be able to go to sleep. So and that is how we are conditioned. And it's the same thing with, there was one story that this man was too addictive to work, and because of the addiction of work, or as a result of that, he couldn't go to sleep. And at the end, his wife wakes up and then told her that tomorrow still you can do it. And suddenly, after his wife told him, immediately he realized that yes, I can do it tomorrow as well. So that's how he was able to go to sleep. So I give this as a reflection from tonight's our Interfaith Mindful Day meeting, and I hope that many of you also experiencing this insomnia, and these practices may help you to go to sleep. And good night, good night sleeps. So with this, may you be happy, peaceful, and have a good night if you are not tuning in for the chanting and meditation. But I encourage you to continue for the chanting and listening. If not, then good night, and may the Buddha bless you. Thank you.